From the great state of Texas, you are now listening to Skip the Noise podcast, a Rounded Edge media production. Thank you so much for joining us. And by us, of course, I am referring to Ben, aka Mexican Nostradamus, and myself, Benji James, here for another fantastic episode. Shout out to Mike Tacklebox for the music. Rick, the Brown Python, is not here for the beginning of the show. We are looking forward to him perhaps joining us in a little bit. That remains to be seen. When he does, we will certainly put him through.
Because he has to deal with his struggle.
He does. That's we talked about last episode. The guy has a struggle, and he continues to battle with it daily. And
that book he's gonna write.
Yeah, it's his passion project. So we await that. But without further ado, get into the big story this week. It's been on everybody's mind. The new variant, and we knew this was coming. We are now facing Omicron awaits us. The wrath and the fury that Omicron has before us. We shall see how this plays out. So basically the origins of this started in South Africa, correct?
Well, it's actually kind of getting a little
or at least the first reported.
Yeah,
at least that was the initial story. Right. They reported the first case in South Africa, and that was due to. Not due to, but a lot. They were the ones that either not discovered it, right? Or
it was like
were able to separate. You explain it because you're the qualified party here on this.
Well, hey, hold on. I wouldn't say qualified, but
more so than me, way more so than me. So please.
Well, they identify. I guess a doctor identified the variant because they were kind of sampling and looking at it, and they actually identified that they had a whole different COVID. But at first, they thought, "Oh, this came from Africa," but now they're linking it that it actually originated in Europe. And so they actually have individuals that are stating that. So it's kind of crazy, but we'll get into the embargoes and whatnot later. But basically, that's where it was first, technically identified, but not the source of it. So that's the best way to say it.
Okay.
Yeah. So Omicron came from South Africa.
Because there's a lot of things we could really get into a lot of different angles on this, but just one overall kind of from the big picture is all these variants, right? And all these, it just seems like this cycle repeats itself. We do all these vaccines and all these things and these mandates, and this should be, this will be the next step. And then boom, here comes the Delta. Now the vaccines, they don't really work on this and blah, blah, blah. So each time I've just happened to notice whether it's just the natural order of things and how it's all folding out, or if there's something else going on. It's always the next one is always, and I guess that is the kind of natural flow of a virus, sort of, from my understanding, but it just seems like a more elusive one. This just keeps progressing. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but it's
no. I'm with you. I'm with you. I just don't think the vaccines actually ever worked completely, though.
Right.
This is liability.
Yeah, is it just that? Is it just they really never did work, and so they're slowly.
They worked, but not like how they like. Okay, so like that's the thing about the vaccines that I think that everyone one day in history will see is that they touted the vaccines as the way to end the pandemic, but the problem with the vaccines is that they're temporary, and more so than anyone thought. I mean, and you can check me. I actually said this in one of the very first episodes when this whole thing went down. I was like, guys. They're only showing people have natural immunity for a couple of months. And on top of that, we're going to have to take multiple shots here because that was from very early literature, and that's held true. But the truth is that the vaccine was never as effective as they touted, because it's very similar to the flu vaccine, which is about 30 to 40% effective on a good year.
Mm-hmm.
These RNA vaccines, while extremely effective in the short term, only really last, and this is kind of becoming more and more fruition, about 2 months. That's when they have their most, because the way they hijack the cell machinery and the way they function, and this is, of course, more of a theory, but I think it's more and more showing what's happening is RNA vaccines, folks, are not the best vaccines. They burn out very quickly. They hijack machinery, but the problem is your body doesn't really retain memory of the disease. So basically, it's like, telling a bunch of people to build the pyramids and then taking away all the plans, and then later on, they're like, I don't really don't know how the fuck we did that. We did it, but we don't know how to do it. So the body doesn't really retain memory, which is why these boosters are almost going to always be forever needed. It's kind of jacked up, but nonetheless, to go back to Omicron is very, very, as they say, heavily mutated. In medical jargon and all this bullshit, that means that this thing's going to evade this current vaccines, because our current vaccines are making the RNA prepare for certain things that look a certain way. And so when they're heavily mutated, they're going to evade vaccines, and that's what they're already seeing. So there's been 2 clinical tests that have basically shown that Omicron variant seems to evade. But they say, but it doesn't kill people, but it evades. So secondary infections are going to be pretty prominent with this. So, this is the big fear. This is the big thing. We've seen the stock market now drop 4% overall in the last, since Friday. Today was, I think, almost 2 points. Monday, there was a gain of a point, but then it went back down 2 points today. Everyone's kind of panicking. What's going to happen? What's happening here? Moderna's lost, I think, 7 or 8%, because now everyone's saying their vaccine won't necessarily work. It's just, it's the boogeyman again. But what I find fascinating is how we know that the vaccines won't work on this, but somehow Omicron only has mild side effects and mild symptoms, when a majority of people who get COVID have mild side effects and mild symptoms. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some individuals, and I don't want to shit on anyone who's passed away or any individuals who have gone through the worst aspects of COVID, but it's pretty interesting when less than 1% of people have severe side effects. Wouldn't you say a majority of people had moderate to mild? But since the vaccine doesn't work on this one, it's not that dangerous though. Well, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's right. Kind of crazy. It's a lot going on. There's a lot to unpackage with Omicron.
Is it any different than that's the other thing too, is it keeps at this point so we're at a point now where lockdowns, there's almost no way to go back to that reaction, just because of there's no funding for it. Well, you know what I mean? You can't feasibly shut shit down again. So the answer, right? So the answer now shifts to vaccine. That's why, there was this major, campaign by the White House and to, you're not getting a vaccine, you're an asshole, blah, blah, blah. It's not crazy.
I think that was the slogan. They had that sign outside. I mean, basically, you know what I'm saying?
Because that's all they got at this point. And not only that, people, they can shift the market. That's the part where, maybe I'm getting too skeptical with this topic. I came out of the gate like almost fucking fringy.
Oh, I think we all are now.
But like at this point, like I can't help myself. Because I'm just like, is this whole fucking shit to just drive the market? It's like, Pfizer's ass. Take all your fucking money out of Pfizer. Oh, this one's got the Omicron. This fucking corporation is getting the vaccine for the Omicron. Everybody, they all dumping the shit. Like, people are getting rich as fuck off of this.
Oh, yeah. Dude, you could say that again, bro. You can just keep running those fucks. People are getting like buku rich off of this, man.
And if you're not like, dude, like, fuck it, we'll just go straight in, because that's
fuck it. And pull it out, dude.
I didn't intend on getting conspiracy theory with this topic,
but I can't really help conspiracy
it now. Though I can't. No, it's not. Everything
that's what I'm saying. Now. It's not a conspiracy anymore.
I think I think my brain just spilled itself out and revealed the whole truth here. Is that what the fuck? Everybody's so fucking confused. It started last year, over a year now.
2 years. We're going to be 2 years in March. 2 years in March, bro.
Bro, it's coming up on 2 years.
Well, 2 years actually. January. When it first was identified, that's when it.
No,
first
you're right.
You
were right. Yeah. Everybody's so fucking confused at this point. You don't know what the fuck to believe. But you know, one thing is for sure, that people are getting rich as fucking. That's what you can be sure of. That's the
rich.
only thing. That's the only thing that you can be sure of right now.
Well, I'm with you. I'm totally with you. I think that's where Omicron, I honestly believe that Omicron is now just the eventual liability release. Because see, in reality, everyone's like, oh, where the vaccines are going to save you, and they didn't save you. And now, of course, here comes the variant that the vaccine can't do anything against, but it's mild symptoms.
And it's going to buy them time to be like, oh, well,
if it kills people, it's like, oh, it's very rare that it kills people. But if you looked at regular COVID, it was also very rare that it killed people. So if you look at the language, oh, dude, from the very beginning of Omicron, NPR was talking about, oh, it's heavily mutated. Then today I fucking heard NPR saying basically, well, there's been some plasma tests that basically show that the antibodies that are created by the mRNA vaccine currently for the, Moderna, Pfizer, all of them, that it doesn't recognize the Omicron variant in plasma, or so in vitro, or not, well, not yet in vitro studies. So not in vivo yet, but in vitro studies, basically the vaccine doesn't do shit against Omicron. And that's in two studies already. So in real life, we don't know yet, technically, but we know they're dropping the hints already. Like, oh yeah, the vaccines we told you to do to save you, they're not going to do anything because this new variant is basically going to go past all of them. So really, this is all kind of, to me, it's almost like a liability play. Think about it. They're already like, well, fuck, the vaccines really didn't work. They last maybe 2 to 3 months. People aren't going to keep getting fucking boosters. What's our exit strategy? And Omicron kind of presents that, because it's like,
it is. That's heavily, right, bro.
It's heavily mutated, and it evolves so quickly. But the good thing is that it has mild symptoms and rarely adverse side effects. Well, that was fucking COVID anyways.
Yeah, and not only that, man.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the fucked up part.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, and then this whole thing, dude, and then coming at a kind of another weird angle here is like, so we keep shifting, because there's people that are kind of like sticking it to South Africa, saying that, you know what I mean, like this research and shit that this so, and now obviously, so South Africa it's the most vaccinated African nation, to my knowledge, I think, or one of the most. But notoriously, Africa, the continent, is very like, there's all kinds of issues with them getting vaccinated, from everything from infrastructure to just the population and like religious.
Call it what it is. I mean, just straight up. I mean, they just have so much can't even think of
poverty, civil unrest. Like there's so many things that
corruption
exactly. How are you going to who's going to genuinely distribute these things? Right. So that like Africa just in general kind of blanket statement.
That's what happens when you give a bunch of white guys crayons and say, draw countries.
Right.
I mean, Africa is basically the mistake of, colonies drawing fucking borders without any retrospect to any type of tribal issues or anything else. They just say, okay, this is how we want this country to look, and forcing okay, no, we can do a whole episode.
That's a whole that's a whole podcast on how European colonialization fucked up.
They may drink tea, but don't let that shit fool you. They fucked that continent up, and the Middle East.
No, they really
yeah.
But anyway, no, but that actually kind of it does. It's not too far off. What the point I was getting at was that, like, so now you have, thinking of this super cynically and like business opportunities. I just think it's that the whole thing coincides with the Omicron developing in Africa, right? With like people with just has a, notoriously low ridiculously low vaccination rate, right? Like some countries are like fucking 1% or if that, some of the bigger, I don't know, I can't rattle off like the, Nigeria, whatever, I don't know what
you're supposed to.
Yeah, I'm a statistician, man. I got stats like coming out of my fucking ass. Like I don't have anything else to do. Fucking
hold on. Let's see. Fact about my Nigeria. Continue. I'm listening.
Well, just so we can at least drop one legitimate stat. I would appreciate that if you while I continue my rampage.
Continue rampage.
But I'm just saying the whole thing is just is fucked. It's like I don't know, how can we capitalize off of this low ass fucking vaccination rate and keeping, how do, like Ben said, that what's the exit strategy for this thing not fucking working and us pushing everything else up your ass with this fucking vaccine? And the
I feel you.
Too much info, but like my brain's exploding with too many questions.
It's a lot to understand, and it is a lot to understand. It's completely understand. It's so much so that just like Nigeria has over 4,715 different plant species. Fact. That it is bursting at the seams, because really the whole concept of Omicron is so convoluted and so packed with drama and expectations and you're terrified or you're not, or what the fuck's going to happen, that it's almost too much, right? It's bursting at the seams with content. I mean, this is like, two puppies under a blanket. It's just fucking getting it. You can't contain it. You can't do anything about it. And I think right now, we're starting to see a downplaying of Omicron that you're like, well, wait a second. It's still COVID, right? These people are trying to say, oh, it's mild. Just like in the beginning, they said, oh, COVID doesn't affect children. I was like, that doesn't make sense. Children are just smaller humans. They're still the same as us.
Right, dude. Like, that's what I'm saying.
But I'm like, okay, hold on. Okay, that's all right. I'll let this ride. I'll let that ride. But, and then the other, interesting facts that popped up during COVID. Oh, if you get a shot, you won't get COVID. Well, people are getting COVID. Well, you can still get COVID, but you won't die. Well, there's some people die. Well, for the most part, you won't die. And then it's like, oh, one shot. And then, like I said, when I saw my CDC card, when I got my shot, there's like 15 fucking lines under there. I'm like, they're planning for something.
Oh no, right? No, like that's the thing, like the guy who's like, Jeff, I need you to, I got a job for you. Okay, are you busy? Okay, good. So let me tell you something. Cool, I need you to print. Cool. I need you to design on your Dell laptop, your Windows package, Word, however you choose to do it. You can design it on this. But one thing I need you to make sure, Jeff, is that there's a lot of space on each of these cards for a fuck ton of vaccines, because we don't plan on stopping this shit anytime soon.
We can run this shit.
Matter of fact, we can continue this pandemic for the rest of the foreseeable future,
definitely,
and never have this shit end. We can continue this indefinitely, but what we're going to need, Jeff, is a lot of lines so we don't have to reprint these cards again, because there's a lot of vaccines are coming down the pike. I can guarantee you that, Jeff. So make this thing real large, scale it down, make the print really small, use a very small font on top of that, and really maximize space here, because we're going to need a lot of lines, because this shit's going on for fucking infinity. How about that?
That's the fucking truth, bro, right there. It's like they designed the cards to be minimal, but pack as much information as possible, because they knew they were going to be fucking sticking you for a minute. And
Ben,
it's so weird.
Real quick, your vaccine card, it's fucking action packed, dude.
It is, bro. My God, it's
gonna look like James Bond's fucking passport.
No shit, right?
It's 4 months.
And then of course the FDA just said, oh, the booster can help. Well, okay, explain to me this. All right, me not being a scientist, but just being logical, because the wonderful thing about philosophy is that you can kind of infer a lot of philosophy, like inferred science. So if they say to get a booster, right, and it would protect against Omicron, how would said booster protect against Omicron if none of the shots work. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's some of these fucking things that they're saying now are so blatantly stupid and so like, oh, you got to get the shot, where you're just like, guys, you're just saying nonsense now. And that's what it sounds like. So I'm not telling people don't get the booster. Please, if you want to get the booster, get the booster. If you feel like it's safer, that's fine. Do what you have to do in your life. But if you start looking at the contradictions of what they're saying, they're committing logical fallacies every time they speak now. And it's kind of embarrassing that they think that we're this fucking stupid. Which, don't get me wrong, a majority of Trump voters are that stupid. But the crazy part is that the stupidity is allowing them to make the right decision. It's almost like, in a way, it's like, you know, like, let's say you're lost and you make a left turn and you're like, oh, I knew that was right. I knew that was the right way, but you really didn't, right? You guessed. You fucking guessed. And so that's what's kind of happening right now when you see that. And I think the scariest part of this whole Omicron thing and COVID, because in 6 or 7 months, whatever it's going to be, is the fact that we have literally destroyed medicine for this country for a long time. Like, this might be what takes us back to the dark ages. Like, there's a moment, there's an event. So for most Muslim and Islamic countries is whenever they fucked with Genghis Khan, and then he fucking decimated the Middle East. I mean, decimated them, like made mountains out of skulls, right? Went into like places and burnt shit down. No, he did, bro. Yeah.
No, I know. That's why I'm laughing, because
fucked them up. And
like, you literally,
dude, he was a
like
dick.
You won. If you're making mountains of skulls,
you know what I'm saying, bro? I mean, he went GTA times 5, bro. Like,
they don't even
Empire Earth.
No, we haven't even caught up to the fucking destruction and mayhem brought by one Genghis Khan. We have not even come close to replicating that type of damage.
Right. And that's what we're doing. We're bombing ourselves mentally back into the dark ages, because what's going to happen is these dumbasses. Well, these dumbasses are fucking going to think, oh, all vaccines are fucked up. They're not all fucked up, morons. So yeah, and if you don't, and I'm specifically speaking to people who think that vaccines are bad, you're a fucking moron, because they are very good. You don't see motherfuckers walking around with polio. You don't see a lot of fucking bad things, right? They work. But what doesn't work is our current day medical system and our society. That doesn't work. That's the fucked up part, because when we started thinking about money and medicine, that's when shit got twisted. So no, that's really all it is.
It is what it is.
It's fucking stupid.
So what's more valuable? So check this out, right?
Oh, I'm gonna check.
What is the ultimate cash cow is medicine. If you do it right.
Yeah.
Because do you want to live or you want to die? Oh, exactly. Cool. Give me your fucking money.
Right.
It's so simple. It's that simple.
It is.
And who would have thought that the most capitalistic and monetarily driven, both business and the culture that created this shit, like, who would have thought that we have the most fucked up medicine in the Western civilized world? By far. Everybody else in every other country is like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I need surgery. Like, I go to that.
I know.
Like, here, people are dying. Like, people go broke and ruin generations of lives because their grandpa gets fucking cancer and it destroys the entire family, and they don't recover for 2 or 3 generations because it put them $600,000 in the hole. Why? Mm-hmm. Because you want to keep grandpa alive, or Uncle Jesse, who's got gout. And
Uncle Jesse
from Uncle Jesse. Yeah, that guy. He really took a left turn at some point after they moved out of San Francisco.
It's all the
he had gout.
All the hair products.
The hair products. He started ingesting them. His diet went to shit, dude. He was eating You know what I'm saying? Pretzels and fucking salmon.
And
like
ass.
Nothing.
Pretzels and ass, and it just fucked him up. But yeah, that's where we're going. And so guess what?
Yeah.
In the end, we got this fucked up medical system that's completely twisted around. We have this new variant, which they're basically treating it like the way we probably should have treated COVID in the beginning anyways.
Right.
And all in all, we've all been sold a bunch of bullshit lies and contradictions. It's sad. And I really do think that this is going to set us back when it comes to science significantly. Like I think we're heading into a new dark ages.
Yeah.
And we're going to be fucked for a while. Folks.
It's comforting. It's very comforting.
Yeah. It's fucking scary. We literally are becoming idiocracy. Like our whole society is going to be based on social media, girls like popping that ass, and like,
I mean, that's okay.
You know, and dudes driving cars.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, but let me tell you something too.
I want you to tell me.
Society, no, I mean, make no mistake about it. And I don't mean to be hyperbolic or negative or anything like that, but yeah, society is crumbling right from under our feet.
Yep.
That's not, am I lying? Am I saying anything?
I wouldn't say.
Am I saying anything crazy here when I say that? No.
No.
It really is. It's crumbling with our feet. The family structure, everything is just being assaulted. And I'm not a religious zealot. I'm not here preaching all these things. I have been known to maybe have proclivities to starting a cult like organization. I wouldn't call it a cult necessarily, but you can call it whatever you want.
Hey,
but
your followers like camped around you all the time.
I'm just saying this is a good time to bring up the fact.
Why do you have to take prima nocta with every single member of your cult?
I mean,
you know,
I can't really.
Why do you have to be with their wife the first night that they get married? Like, I don't understand that.
I can't really explain that part until you've reached level 2 of our.
I don't believe. I think you need to explain it to the followers why you gotta bang every one of their wives their first night of marriage.
I'll explain it when I get that Zelle payment for the $39.95 that to kickstart the whole deal for the application fee. We can talk after we establish that, and that's all done. And I see that nice little Zelle text that said I got $39.95.
Nice.
But until then, I just want to say that my personal, you might say, oh, you know, Benji, you talk about all the doom and gloom and society's crumbling. How do you keep going? Why do you keep waking up in the morning? Because I've already decided at this point to elevate beyond that and exist in the astral plane. I got one foot. I actually live here on Earth too with everybody else. However, I do have a dip. I mean, I have a big toe in the astral plane at all times. So
I think we all have to, right? I mean, that's really the only way you can elevate. You have to hope. Yeah. You have to hope.
Or just exist.
Yep. And fight against the dying of the light, brother. Fight against the dying of the light.
Because we have to exist, and we have to to some degree resist the metaverse, or else it's completely over. And I was freaking out the last episode about the metaverse and all that. Some of it was funny, whatever, but yeah, that's a real concern of mine. I'm very serious about that.
I think
I really do think I'm very, very carefully surfing the line between, is he kidding or is he real? But that's okay. You take it out, you figure it out. But I'm very serious about the fact that everything about how you build a personality and how you exist and how you interact with the outside world is under assault from every angle. You know what I mean? The very building blocks of that, the family structure is under assault. And this is not just this is not like the guy at the fucking Dynamo game with the little fucking shitty PA telling everybody they're going to go to hell. That's not okay. Good. That's now, as everybody exits in mass, this guy's barking at him and telling them they're going to hell. And he's reciting Bible verses that prove that this guy over here in the yellow tank top is you know what I mean, a sinner, and he's going to hell, and everybody's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like trying to like,
it's like, yo, bro,
yeah, he's like calling people out.
I try to see some fucking football over here. What the fuck is going on here, bro?
I want to watch.
Come on, guy.
I want to watch a decent match. And this guy's telling me my soul is headed for internal.
Soul will crumble.
Eternal, not internal. Eternal damnation.
Imagine internal hell. Your soul will suck inward.
Damn. You're gonna.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of people that internal hell going on right now, though.
And they do. Who?
Oh, bro, tons of people are that shit. I mean, one in particular, but we gotta hit them up later, because I think we're gonna transition from the Omicron to another side effect of a crumbling society that typically it should be more shocking than it is. And it's the reality of what we have to face. And as a parent, it's very scary for me. So we will have to go ahead and touch on an event that occurred today. There was another high school shooting, 3 dead, 8 wounded in Michigan. They did identify the suspect as a 50-year-old kid. And basically, the scary part is that he had a countdown. He posted on social media. I think he even threw out like threats towards the school district. There's going to have to be a lot to be played into this, because the kid apparently had made several threats. You know, it was very vocal about what his plans were, and he did, of course, go through with them. It's pretty terrifying. It's pretty scary. There is tons of video from the students that were in the building during the shooting. Several of them were locked up. They locked themselves and bombarded the doors or blocked the doors to prevent entry. And you can see there's a video with this whole classroom full of kids that, you know, the shooting's going on while they're locked in this classroom. It's so terrifying.
It's like,
it's fucking
video
terrifying,
is so
man. Yeah.
Which, you know, like we talked about this, we touched on this after the Travis Scott incident, just the fact that now, like, there's so, video is so available for fucking everything that happens.
Oh, I know.
And you know, I remember when like Columbine happened.
Oh, Columbine, bro.
Watching like just the news coverage from like helicopters.
Yeah.
That shit was like eerie, like, oh fuck, they're all
like, oh, bro, when they released the school cams, remember?
That shit was crazy. School cams,
and it shows them walking around with those Tech 9 or whatever.
Yeah,
and you're just like,
but that, and you know, and that's just like video surveillance. Now we're getting actual point of view footage from like victims and
with 4K cameras. I mean, that's what's on these phones, right? They're 1080p. I mean, you're seeing a high definition fear and terror,
right?
And
like you're in just, like,
yes,
you're living it. You're living it in a way now that you weren't before.
Yep.
So it's like, even if it's like one step removed, it's still your brain doesn't know the difference. Like when you ingest those images and the sounds and everything that you associate with what your concept of a situation like that might look like in your head or per an experience. And now you're able to kind of like get a dose of that you wouldn't on such a consistent basis.
Yep.
That it's like, God,
it's crazy. It's fucking crazy. It's sad. It's so sad.
But yeah, and it is, and also to just, you know, officially, obviously, you know, thoughts, prayers.
Oh, all the family members of the
positivity,
Oxford High School shooting.
Oxford High School in Oxford, Michigan, or Oxford Township, whatever. But yeah, the families, the victims of the deceased, and also the wounded, or just anybody in that community has to be shook to the core by this, when a 15-year-old, you know, and it's just sad all around, you know, because you can see,
and you should see the way this kid looks, man.
I haven't even seen the picture.
I saw his picture. So, and this is unofficial. So, you know, but the guy was basically, they cued it pretty quickly because of the fact that he had made several threats against the high school already in social media, stuff like that. But he just, I guess it hits me because he looks like a dork, right? And I'm kind of a dork. I think for the most part, But the sad thing is that he just looks like a dorky kid, probably picked on, and just very, very, very hurt, sad kid. You know, and you see them do this shit, and you're just like, God, man. It's fucked up. It's just like, man, I got a son, and I have kids. I just couldn't imagine if, you couldn't get there if they got there, it's just, it's sick. But if you see the picture of this kid, I won't name his name because I don't think we should name these fucking people's names anymore. I don't think they should get any more attention. But if you see his picture,
not even. You're right.
Picture, he's a very,
right.
very, very, he's just a dorky kid with glasses, probably not very, not athletic, not whatever, probably picked on a lot. Lord knows what happened to this kid or what's wrong with him. But, this has happened. And it's just, you look at this, it's just another sad example of, what's happening, the social pressures, the dysfunction, the mental illness in our country. And so it's just, it's just sad. It's just another, like I said, it's just another step towards this weird pervasion into a dark age, like where we were once, like, and this sounds so stupid, like, but in the 60s, we could barely break the speed of sound in the 50s. And then in 60s, we're stepping on the fucking moon. Like the amount of advancement and hope was just unparalleled.
Yeah.
And then in the 70s and 80s, you saw the advent of the computer and the transistor. But now, what have we really done since 2000? I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. Phones have gotten smaller. Emails are cool. We have social media. But has any of that really advanced anything?
You know what we've done?
It's just become
instead
dicks.
of looking, of course. But what we've really done, you put that very, I liked how you said that, because it made me, it brought up a thought. Now we're looking literally and figuratively, we're just looking down into our palm. Whereas before we were looking up.
Right, exactly.
We were looking outside of ourselves. We were looking for that next leap. We were looking, and now we're not. Now it's getting smaller and internal, and it's microscopic. We're not looking. So that's just kind of an analogy for what's going on.
Yeah.
Everybody's, and I think once again, that's there's so much focus from this close in thing, this internal, and now every single person has different life circumstance or whatever, but like just as a general scope of the school shooter problem. Yeah. People, there's so much neurosis, more so when all your energy is focused inward instead of your energy being focused outward. So let that be a fucking lesson on how, and I'm not trying to get all preachy, but like how you really perceive of how you're living your life. If you're drawing energy, boom, 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 but like you're sucking it all in, if that's what it feels like, you're probably going the wrong way.
Yep.
You should be projecting it out, because that's what starts to stir up those fucking issues, and people start cracking, and people are different, so the people react in a different way. And if you get enough people, 1 out of every 100,000 has access to fucking pretty destructive weaponry, and may choose to lash out in a temper tantrum of sorts, just like a baby would, because they don't understand their environment and they haven't quite grown to understand how to interact with the world. That's what we're producing. We're producing adult-bodied babies because we've completely lost all the structure,
patience, understanding,
everything's gone.
Nuance. We're just a bunch of fucking babies now. And I hate to continue to be the harbinger of despair and doom, but the only person that probably could have saved the Union won't be doing it this time around, folks. I hate to break this to everyone, but Mr. McConaughey will not be running for governor of Texas.
Nope. He got us all about 35% chub.
Yep.
And then he just he walked away.
He started tickling the balls a little bit. He started, kind of moving it around, getting a little hot and heavy. He rounded second base and then just put the brakes on it.
I know. It was all, the blood was really getting it going. And,
man.
And circulating and hopes and dreams and
veins popping.
Yeah, man.
All over guess what? There's no all right. We will not be getting that in our Texas for our governor of Texas. I actually am a little sad about this. I actually thought it would have been cool to at least have somebody different in that box, especially somebody that honestly, he probably would have decriminalized marijuana. Mm-hmm. He probably would have done a bunch of cool shit. But instead now, we're left with, I gotta stop saying my analogy for him because I'm gonna keep getting blurted out. But we're left with Dickless Abbott, and then we're with fucking Pancho Vanilla, who's gonna be running for the Democrats. Fucking Beto.
I like that. Fuck.
Pancho Vanilla. Fuck.
Did you? Have you heard that before? You made that up?
I sourced that from Reddit. No. Some guy said it on Reddit. I swear, I wish I could find out. Remember, I told you guys. I was like, dude, Pancho Vanilla, dude, it's really the best way to describe him. He's not even
the best.
God, what a fucking chode. So literally, once again, Texas has become the microcosm of the presidential election again. You have a fucking blowhard dick sucker running who literally has no common sense or speed. And then you have fucking just a Nimrod dumb shit running against him. It's very similar to what we had. Beto is just a younger Biden with the same mental capacity. So it's just another shit shoot. Like, I don't understand, but I am actually slightly disturbed he's not going to be running. I thought at least if he had come in, he maybe could have mixed shit up, maybe even forced Beto out the Democratic ticket, which would have been fucking fabulous as you saw him walk away in the sunset, never come back. And instead now, we're going to have a basic shoe-in for Abbott. There's no way Beto's going to beat him. Beto literally said, I'm going to take away your guns. Yeah. That's the wrong fucking state to say that to. Because that's the dumbest fucking thing. Yeah, that's the dumbest thing. Even Democrats are like, what? Whoa, bro.
No, it doesn't work that way.
It's just that, you can't run that bullshit progressive platform in Texas.
And you know what I'm wondering? You know what I'm wondering?
What?
His motivations aren't Texas. You know what I mean?
They're never. It's always
you know what I mean.
Thing.
So obviously, right, but that's why he's taking those stances. It's for the show. It's for the show of it. It's not for the actual what kind of policies he's trying to drive here in the great state of Texas. So yeah, it's a shame, man. McConaughey's not running. For if no other reason than just to give the Skip the Noise podcast a topic that would continue, I'm sure, to provide a wealth of content for the show. So I'm disappointed on that angle, but I'm also disappointed because I genuinely thought at the very least it would be interesting just for the scope of Texas politics.
I thought it'd be amazing. I thought he could have probably committed to an independent party and probably brought a significant amount of voters to an independent party. He could have he could have done something, man. He could have
now that we're kind of like spitballing that, think of, if you really think of there's angles you could work here in Texas because of the political dynamics that, man, what if Texas could be a petri dish that like spawned an actual viable alternative to the Republican Democratic Party.
Oh, that's what that,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like it would start here. Cause that's the thing. Like the whole thing has to start like, I don't know, like in his head, I don't know what's going on through dude's head. He might think that like, I'm not up for cause it's a fucking, we talked about that before.
Dude, that's a fucking shit show, bro.
It's a commitment, dude. It's a commitment that's going to age you by 10 fucking years in 6 months. Easy. And he may just be like, you know what? I'd rather just live out the rest of my lives
dude.
You know, being McConaughey,
being with his hot wife, smoking pot, beautiful, and chilling,
and kids, family. He's super. Yeah, he's a super happy dude. So I don't think he wanted to trade that for what lies ahead.
Yeah,
which is fine, man. Some people are, right, and some people, you almost have to not have any concern for your physical or mental well-being if you're gonna go. You know, like you really have to be. If you're really gonna do it right, you really have to be committed to giving myself up for the greater good.
Yep.
You know, that's kind of what it is. If you're really going to make the move that we sort of fantasize that he was about to make, that's what you have to commit to. So, you know, kudos to him because he's got a family. He's got his priorities or another thing. But it would have been, and it still can be great if you could spawn, you know, and that's the question is who's the right person to take on that role to be, because you really could have just be that one ember that catches a little bit of a light that could kind of hijack, you know, or virus, if you will, that completely hijacks the DNA structure of the American political system that is a fucking, you know what I mean, absolute shit show. But man, I really feel like we're being negative, but I don't think that it's but I think it's a silver lining though, because I feel like within all these doom and gloom discussions, I think we're getting to, you know what this is, this episode. And shout out to Rick had some shit. Rick communicated. He will, but that's fine.
He's taking his PTO, rightly deserved.
Very deserved. He's been working his ass off. He deserves a little PTO. So he's getting a break tonight. Yeah. Which you know, it's fine too, because you know, we, like I said, we got each other's back. We hold it down.
I got your back.
Whoever's here, and that's the beauty of having
your front
trifecta.
I'm gonna give you a trifecta, but you know who I still think is going to be a very, if he can play his cards right, run another good campaign here in Dallas, is Collin Allred. I'm telling you, this guy, a former NFL football player, toes the middle line, African American guy. I think there's something there. And I've said his name a couple of times, but I really think there's something there. This guy is like, that could be the person you see come out of Texas that could do something. And honestly, that's who the Democrats need to have running for the governor of Texas. Right. Fucking Beto's a fucking joke. Beto is a fucking joke. Like, if you're a Democrat in Texas, realize that he's a fucking joke. Like, he shouldn't even be he shouldn't even be on a city council.
Right. He should be in El Paso ISD school board.
Maybe. And even then, I don't think he's qualified for that. He's a D-bag who is just a fucking parakeet for whatever he has to say to try to get some type of attention. But I do like Collin Allred. I think if there's someone, he ran a very hard campaign against a extremely hardcore Karen. Right? Mm-hmm. They pitted the Republicans were smart. They're like, all right, let's try to get the female vote against him because, of course, he was a black male. So they're like, well, we can't win it with the typical white male. Let's try to get the female vote. And this bitch was ruthless. I forgot her name, but she was Karen 9000. Like, you know how there's a Terminator, the T1000? Right. Well, this bitch was the Karen 9000.
She was the one. Yeah, she could morph into other shit. And
she morphed into super Karen, dude.
Sprint without breathing.
I can't tell you how many undertones of racism and just, I'm going to get just raped by every black guy. I mean, this bitch threw it all out there. It was horrible. She was horrible. And he still won. And he won pretty good. So I have to say that I still think that dude, I really wish, I don't know what he's doing because I don't hear about him as much as we should here in the state of Texas. But I really hope that dude tucks his nuts up and does something, because
we'll call him out right here on the Skip the Noise podcast. If you listen to the show,
I mean, of this shithole of an area, of the shithole that is DFW, there could be one shining star that could actually save the fucking state of Texas. And that man needs to fucking do something, because he's fucking around, but he is a good middle of the road candidate that could bring some type of neutrality to Texas, which would be awesome. If we could get someone there that would actually do it. But there's not much to be said. I mean, as I sent you all the other day, people are fleeing this area anyways to Houston. Isn't that crazy? Did you see that? I sent that to you.
Yeah, I saw that.
7 to 10% of the new people that moved to Houston are from DFW.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Dude.
Fuck. And then the only person that moved the other way was me 10 years ago. That's it.
I know.
It's just me. I'm the only asshole that went from Houston to DFW. Fuck.
It's going the wrong way.
That is?
You know what you're like? You're like the you know how like the salmon and when they spawn and they're all swimming the wrong way or whatever.
That's what I did. That's what I did. I spawned, but at least I didn't try to start some type of weird racial war like Jesse Smollet did.
You did.
So to re-hint to everybody. I mean, fuck, right?
He really did. He really did.
He tried to spawn a fight. He was like helter skelter.
That's all he did.
He was the white Charles Manson
race war.
Dude. He's the white Charles Manson. That's what he was.
He is, bro. Though. That's exactly what he did.
Except way less talented.
So if you don't know what we're talking about, just real quick to recap for our younger listeners, in the 60s, the Manson family notoriously raided the Tate of Hollywood actress and Sharon Tate and killed a bunch of people. It was an absolute fucking disaster and shit show. Multiple murders. It was very gruesome. But one thing they did, they wrote, is it "fuck the pigs" or on the walls? Because they did that, and everybody involved in this in the Manson family was Caucasian. They put that on the wall to deter, so that would potentially be blamed on, like Black Panther, or like a Black militant movement. So that's why we're laughing about. Well, obviously it's super funny topic, but what I mean is we're laughing because sense of humor. Yeah, exactly. I think we've established that if anybody's listening still to this show at this point, they know what's up with that. But yeah, so Jesse Smollett had fucking just real quick recap, just in case people don't remember.
Clown.
He got picked up and he had said to police, reported that he had got jumped by two white supremacists who allegedly put a noose on his neck and called him a bunch of racist things while they were.
He was still wearing the noose whenever he made the report.
When he came, right. So what all came out eventually was that he fabricated the whole story. There was nobody there.
He even hired two black guys to do it.
Right. Yeah, and it was not only that. Like it was two black guys that kicked.
They were jacked. Like these guys, like were fucking. Like,
I feel like they were
crazy. Yeah, it was like a Milli Vanilli type.
Yeah, no, it was. It was like Dutch kickboxer twins. Or some
shit
from fucking Holland.
They were like some type of Dutch. They really were, bro. They were like jacked. They were like, it's just like, what the fuck? Like what,
bro? These guys, he found them on Instagram. These guys will fuck your shit up if you pay them.
They will, bro. Dude, these guys are terrifying. It was like Eric Van der Hoof and like, and Niles Nakasny. These guys were fucking scary, bro. They were terrifying.
Yeah.
But he hired them. And they were kind of like male models too, so they probably did more than they probably did more, bro. They did more than fucking just put a noose around them. That was probably just the beginning of the night.
Their business
Jesse Smollett got his shit pushed in, bro.
The Dutch kickboxing twins,
dude, they just
their business. No, check it out. Their business card read like your COVID vaccine card is gonna read in fucking 2025.
Right? Dude, that was they did that. That was Jesse Smollett's ass had all the stamps from them. But yeah, basically he fabricates this whole story. He tries to basically start some type of racial war in order for him to get a better contract on the show he was on, which was known as Empire, which, if anyone has the unfortunate reality to ever watch, it was the biggest steaming pile of dog shit ever made in media consumption. So there's like there's just some shows that you just wish that like maybe right before it was made, all time was stopped. So that there was never going to be a digital record that showed that that's how fucking horrible we were as a race, that people actually tuned in to watch this dog shit. So with that being said, it was fucking dog shit. I tuned into one. It was like this motherfucker was like singing like this R&B song, and all of a sudden like someone gets shot, and like it had so many like it's the only way I can put this, because I'm not trying to say bad, but like being a Mexican American, it was like trying to watch a show where like it was like Narcos, like the Mexico version, but everyone was like, it was horrible. It was like every stereotype you can imagine was portrayed in these shows. It was just horrible. It was dog shit. Anyways, moving on. Horrible show, shittiness. He's on trial because basically he's being, I think it's right. That's
the whole reason we brought this shit up.
He's on trial for basically making a false police report. But there has been some conversation, and I wanted to phrase this to you to see what you thought. What do you think about the concept? Some people think that he should be tried as like in a way as a hate crime.
I know.
Because he was literally trying to stir racial injustice. Like, I kind of go, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could see. So
like he should be charged like that. It should be like a hate crime what he's done.
I mean, it's definitely more. It's on the complicated side of that.
It's no complicated side, bro. No.
But it's not. No, it's not complicated. But here's what's complicated. Or here's what's not complicated.
Remember when he cried on national TV?
Talking about it. It's ridiculous. But so here's his real crime, right, is a false police report, essentially, right? Like, right. So you might be surprised by my opinion of this. Like, to me, so a hate crime, as it's defined, or at least in my understanding, is that a crime, an actual physical crime, is committed against a person who is of another race for the specific person, or for the specific purposes of that they were that race, right? Or sexual orientation, or whatever the category is. It's a crime committed against that person because they fit into that category.
Right.
So while this definitely has those, it skirts around that idea. I don't know. Like, I don't know enough legally to make a call on whether I think it'll stand or not. But right. I don't know.
Right.
But the idea though of charging him would be with it being a hate crime, because obviously hate crimes carry with them more punishment. So if the idea is just to, so on the level of that, I agree that this motherfucker should, whatever the fuck is coming to him, fuck him, because this is fucked.
He's a fucking
like, this could have had he not been exposed.
Oh, bro.
And if he would not been such a dumbass to where he fucked himself and like obviously was see-through. I mean, they were, at the end of the day, they were going to get to the bottom of this no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, he really could have caused some fucking issues.
Oh yeah, he could have ignited a powder keg. I mean,
he's a person, and it's not just like he's some person off the street. He's, I mean, say what you will, right? This guy's not a fucking, nobody knew who the fuck this. I mean, unless you were watch the show,
which like, if you did, fuck you.
Yes,
fuck
but like,
you. If you watch the show, you're an asshole.
In other words,
perpetrated this shit,
right? But my point is, like, before
from TFW, there's a #1 viewership of this fucking shithole show.
Probably.
It literally was all of DFW tuned in to watch this shit.
Right, but somebody, somebody's grandma didn't know who the fuck this was before the you know what I mean? Like, so
Grams.
I'm not saying, Grams didn't know. Fucking woven grandma had no clue. 283 or whatever the fuck with her stream, her fucking knitting stream that she does on Twitch.
Nice.
She had no idea who Jesse Smollett was before all the thing. So, but nonetheless, he still was a public figure,
right?
Which carries a little more influence than just say your average asshole off the street who's like,
right.
Yeah, I got jumped by 2 white guys who were racist and they were shouting racial slurs. What were you talking about? You were talking about the Dutch kickboxing twins
guys that you paid $3,500
massage parlor. Yeah, they also own a
right.
massage parlor and a food truck. You know what I mean?
Dude, they were.
Like these guys are awesome. I wish, like, actually, I wish we could track these dudes down. If anybody has,
right?
Yeah, if any of the dozens of Skip the Noise listeners have an inroad to the Dutch kickboxing,
please
twins,
let us know. We will literally pay for this fucking. We will.
I'll skip work.
We will.
If we can line up an interview.
We will crowdsource to pay these gentlemen for the interview just to enjoy what is going to happen. Because
I have to know more about the whole thing. I need to know the fucking origin stories. How does one, like, what happens to? I just love it. That the backstory of these 2 gentlemen has a lot.
There's definitely a backstory.
And a front story too. I'm sure.
Bro. I guarantee you they slimered the shit out of him, but. Damn, in the end, you have an asshole fucking doing horrible things, basically inciting. He could have incited a real. I mean, and it was at a time too where,
man, shit was popping, dude. Shit was popping, dude. People could have died because of this bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, it was horrible, and now here we are. So, he's being hit for a felony count of disorderly conduct. I think some perjury stuff. But yeah, in the end, we'll see what happens. But just remember, and I think I just want to mention this story also just to reiterate that this guy's a complete piece of shit, right? I honestly want to make sure that we keep this in the lexicon that this guy was a total dog shit, right? And that his fucking acting was dog shit, and that the whole fact is his whole true existence was that he was on a shitty fucking show and he did something shitty to incite racial violence because he wanted a better contract with this shitty show. That's who Jesse Smollett is, allegedly. So I threw allegedly in there. But allegedly. Yeah,
right.
So from the heart of the Skip the Noise podcast, I like to say a good big fuck you to Jesse Smollett. I think we're gonna take a little break.
Yeah, we'll take a little break.
Let everyone go pee-pee. Try not to honk your horn too much. Don't incite any racial violence. Or riots. How about we try that? What? Maybe that should be one of the golden rules.
Don't start a racial
wars, right? Let's not do that. Okay. Remember, everybody, everyone's red on the inside, so just fucking chill out.
You know what? When I walk into work tomorrow, and the first person that's like, "Hey, man, how you doing this morning?" or "How you doing today?"
You should walk in. With
you know
news.
What? You know what?
Walk in with
no. I'm gonna. I got a different idea.
No, around your neck.
I'm gonna say
like they did it to you.
No. That's going against everything I'm trying to do,
bro. You should do this, Jesse Smollett. I know what I'm doing next Halloween.
Like, well, my day would have been a lot better if I wouldn't have got jumped randomly by some Dutch kickboxing twins who just happened to be black and I'm white,
screaming horrible racial.
Yeah, they were really hollering like real fucked up things while they were kicking the shit out of me. So I think you're gonna have to at least a 15% raise here.
Oh God.
But nonetheless, nonetheless, let's take a little break here and let's groove to some tunes. One Jeremy Masters before we come back. And we are back. Second half underway.
Back.
Fucking right.
We're
So
back.
let's what do we just my memory is so fucking short.
It's fucking awesome.
Oh, I know what we're going to talk about. Ben, introduce the topic, the anti-bot law.
Oh yeah. So you know what? And this is going to be part of a slightly, I shouldn't be too long of a tirade, but the Democrats are actually reintroducing another law into Congress regarding the anti-bot law. Now you may ask yourself, what the fuck is this talking about? But if you're an individual trying to search for any type of like important thing or electronic, particularly right now, like a PS5 or an Xbox Series X or a graphics card, you'll notice that as soon as you try to buy them when they're released, they're all gone. You can't get one. And instead, what happens is as soon as you hit Facebook Marketplace, you see a bunch of fucking people scalping them. So the anti-bot law that they're trying to introduce is basically something to help prevent that from happening. Because let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the struggle is real. It's not like my struggle, which is like Rick's book, but the struggle that I particularly am talking about is my, I guess you would say, odyssey.
Okay. And you had a recent experience with this.
Yes. This is my
directly dealing with this phenomenon.
My wonderful son, my unbelievably amazing, talented, loving, great son. He loves playing computer games, you know. And I had built him a computer last year, and luckily I had found a good, decent graphics card, and it's been doing good. But I decided it was time for an upgrade, and he kind of wanted it, and he's been thinking about VR and all these things. And you know, and also that card I got was used, so you know, you never know how long they can last. Sometimes something could go wrong. So I decided, let me try to get him a new one, and that's when the Odyssey began. Ladies and gentlemen, when I say Odyssey, I fucking mean Odyssey. We're talking about I entered shuffles, right? Where like you kind of put your name in a group to purchase a video card. I spammed Best Buy's website. I spammed the Reddit, so the subreddit build a PC sales. I spammed Slick Deals. I spammed Twitter people that knew when things hit the market before anybody else did. And I will shit you not, I cannot tell you how many times, I would say at least 40 times, where I had the product in my cart ready to purchase and it automatically disappeared because I was going against a bot. Yeah. And I'm telling you guys, this is happening with any type of electronics. So if you're out there right now trying to get a PS5 for your kid or some type of really hardcore toy that's popular or whatever, this is happening everywhere. So my Odyssey started 6 weeks ago, where I literally every single day for the last 6 weeks have been trying to land a video card for my son. And the Odyssey finally ended today. After 6 weeks of perseverance, and we're talking about probably 2 hours a day. This is really a commitment of me trying to get a card. I finally fucking got one. And it was almost euphoric. Like I was at work, I was spamming Best Buy as always. And all of a sudden one drops and it's local. And when I mean local, it was 45 minutes away from my job, which meant that I had to drive a little while to get to it. But I said, fuck it. Got it. Went all the way through the purchase. And I almost shit my pants. So
how
immediately after getting this card,
can I ask a
I
question?
told one of them,
Can I ask a quick question? Whenever,
go for it.
What percentage of chub do you think you had?
Oh,
in your pants?
I broke the ceiling. Like, you know, like there's a level of like, you know, there's that 19-year-old boner, right? 18-year-old boner, you know, bro, I had a solid 18-year-old boner, bro. It was like, it was ripping my pants. I could cut glass with this motherfucker. Nice. It was fucking intense. I was so fucking happy. Well, you know, because it finally went, like, it was like, oh, add to basket. I know, add to cart. I know it's going to happen. And then boom, purchase complete. It says, oh, your store pickup, we're working on it. It should be ready. Then I get an email 5 minutes later, your store ready, pickup is ready to go. I almost lost my shit. Like I almost left work immediately to go pick this shit up. Like it's been seriously 6 fucking weeks, 2 hours a day, almost fucking looking for this fucking video card. So I finally got it. So that's the thing though. If you're a normal parent who's not obsessive like myself or have, you know, the ability to be able to spam 15 websites to try to find something, you're not going to get it. And so I think that's kind of cool how they're going to try to introduce this, because it's not fair. You know, you got parents at work, you got people that do normal things, and these scalpers are taking advantage of it by basically, and this not only happens with electronics, this also happens with shoes. So there's a popular pair of Nikes called SB Dunks, right? They're like it. You can get a pair, man, you can resell them, you can do whatever. Because I was to say, as soon as I got my video card, I let one of my friends know, and he offered me double what I bought it for. Dang. Like right there, he said, "I'll give you twice what you bought it for." Right there. I was like, no. I thought about it, but I was like, no. You know, this is for my, you know, this is my son. As much as it'd be great to have the extra money, it'd be great because these things are not cheap. I just said, no, I'm going to keep it. It's for my boy. He deserves it. And I love him to death. So I'll do anything for my kiddo. But as you can tell, 6 weeks of fucking obsessing, trying to get one fucking thing. But in the end, the same thing happens with like shoes, like the SB Dunks. It also happens with all these things where these people, these bots, and I guess to explain what bots are, they're basically programs that have individuals' credit card numbers already programmed into them. So as soon as a product becomes available, they literally will spam the website with 100 different users, all with the same credit card trying to get that item. Mm-hmm. So now it's not just you versus normal people. It's you versus, 10,000 bots. Yeah. And it's kind of madness. So yeah, that was my odyssey. I did my dance. I grabbed the card. I fucking called I as soon as I got it, I sent in caps to my wife. I got the fucking card because she's like, oh, dude. I mean, she'd see me at night just spamming websites. She's just like, Jesus. I hope
she like give up.
Was she trying to tell you? Well, yeah, she's like, well, maybe we'll do something else. She has some other great gift. I mean, she had great gift ideas, but once my mind's set on something, it kind of doesn't really move from that. So yeah, so I fucking got it. So if you guys see this, and if you do actually have some time, check this out, because I think it's really important, because parents shouldn't have to stress this much. I mean, our lives shouldn't have to be jingle all the fucking way where we're trying to fight for the last turbo doll. Yeah, to try to do this for these kids. That's what I was doing, except it was a digital version of that, because I cannot tell you how many other fathers probably felt bummed out that they missed the deal that I grabbed, luckily. I mean, fuck. You should have seen people when I was carrying the card out of the Best Buy. People were looking at me like I had fucking the golden ticket from Willy Wonka. People really knew what the fuck I was carrying, and I almost felt nervous.
They're just like, you're about to say, yeah, that's the thing, huh?
Yeah, here I am carrying like this fucking video card, and people are like, what, this motherfucker right here? And I'm just like, and it's a bad idea, because I am a proponent of open carry, so it's not a good idea that you try to take anything from me at any time. But with that being said, it was still it was a little nerve-wracking, bro, because people were kind of looking at me like, this motherfucker, and it's just like, let's be smart, let's not be stupid. But yeah, so that was my odyssey, my attempt to try to give my son the best Christmas I possibly could. And I really hope that these type of laws will help prevent this, because parents shouldn't have to go to this extent to make their kids happy. It's fucked up, because in the end, these scalpers, what they do is they make it impossible for people to have these things, which in the end, it's just, I mean, we're really just doing it for our kids. Like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, so anyway, so it's pretty fucked up. So nonetheless, that was my little odyssey, a boring yet long story about about a privileged individual chasing after expensive items, and how the struggle, not my struggle, like Rick's my struggle, but as my continuing grievance with the with the society at hand and the bots. Fuck the bots, and if you're a scalper, suck some balls. Moving on.
Yeah, but that was a very heroic tale.
Dude, I'm pumped
because you persevered. That's impressive.
Dude, I literally cannot wait to see my son's eyes, because I've already told him, because I was about a week ago, I was like, hey buddy, I don't think it's gonna happen, man. I really don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And he was, of course, my son's grateful. He's a great kid. So it's like, oh, don't worry about that. I know you tried, and it wasn't even like breaking him up at all. But the fact that now I fucking got it, and on Christmas morning he's gonna open it up and be completely surprised. To me, it was worth the 10,000 hours it felt like trying to get this fucking thing. But anyways, moving on to another interesting topic we have here. I think, Ben, you got the angle on this one, because this is it's just keeping the fucking intrigue, right? It's like that girl who wears that low cut shirt, but you don't know. There's something. It's keeping us salivating about aliens. What the fuck's going on? Tell me.
Recently here, so we've talked about on the show plenty of times. Back in, was it June of 2020, the U.S. Office of Naval Intelligence created the UAP Task Force, the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, which was an organization or a branch of the government created specifically for the purposes of studying what we commonly refer to as unidentified flying objects, which has been replaced with the term unidentified aerial phenomena. Now that group is being succeeded by another one. The Department of Defense and the U.S. intelligence community have formed the what are they calling it? The Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group. Right? I like UAP Task Force a little bit better myself. Yeah, maybe I'm just being a little short-term nostalgic here, but I was okay with it being that. It's interesting that they completely redid this. I don't know. I really just heard about this story today, so I haven't got a chance to do a lot of background on it, but I don't know. It is a little interesting that they're, that's a little early, right? To be dismantling the previous.
It's kind of like a premature move, right? It's like
I think so. A little premature, and maybe, but like Ben said, is this just to keep this thing active? Like, so we had the big report that had come out, and it kind of fell flat. It didn't reveal anything really that we didn't know prior to going into it. It seemed very intriguing. It got a lot of people's hopes up. This now is kind of once again like, oh, okay, maybe we'll be. So I don't know. There must be some kind of intent to keep the public eye at least somewhat peripherally interested in this. Does it have to do with do we want to get really crazy and tie it into the, all these new variants of COVID that, is it just kind of keep the, you're working the charcoal around trying to keep everything going so you can start cooking. I don't know.
I like it.
I don't know, but maybe that's what's going on. But yeah, not a whole lot, other than, like I said, they established this new organization that's gonna, I don't know what's different. I don't know what's different. We're looking at this.
Well, at least to me, the exciting part about it is that they're still looking, right? They're just they're in a way, and I know this sounds stupid, they're departmentalizing aliens, right? The bureaucracy is accepting it. It's almost like, in a way, to me, they're kind of accepting that they're aliens, and the bureaucracy is now taking its place in how to handle it, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're so open now. It's like, oh, now we have the department that's going to deal with fucking aliens, and it's just like, wow, to me, that lends a lot of legitimacy to it, right?
Well, it does, and it's also to could it be though too that it's like over. I had mentioned whatever episode it was, a previous episode, I talked about the sort of the over manipulation of the narrative to keep it close. right? Because there's something obviously that's being protected. There's obviously some information that's being protected here that's been obvious since the, probably notably like the 40s, right?
Yep.
So something's going on.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, something's happening, right?
That they're not that they're not revealing. So it may be in an age of like overly available recording equipment, right? There's ever present. They have to even more so control the discussion space, of these topics. So that might be why they're investing so much time and resources into keeping things going. In other words, like, I don't know if they're actually really intent on figuring anything out, or they're creating this as a way to say, okay, here's the legitimate branch of the government that deals with this issues, much like, okay, like the CDC. Well, we're the experts on disease control. We will control how you think about this topic. Now they're creating, so once again, the theme for the night is cynicism, because I'm getting more and more cynical about. So even this, that I was initially excited for the UAP Task Force, with this move, it almost solidifies my opinion that was starting to emerge from this, that they're creating these things to legitimize the information that they can tell the public about what they're trying to cover up in the first place. Much like the fact that the coronavirus was created by man for, with intent. So, right. So the CDC gets crazy with all this shit that they're pushing, and then ultimately, like, we're not stupid. So we say, wait, hold on, they didn't have all the facts, or blah, 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 or what were they hiding? Why did they say this when it was really this? And so it's kind of the same thing with, just substitute the extraterrestrial phenomena, or study thereof, replace that with COVID. And it's the same. It's like it's like if they were redoing let's make another CDC, because we're going to expand on that, but I don't know, man.
I feel you. I feel you.
But I do
think a lot of legitimacy, right? I mean, in the end, that's really what I'm feeling, is that they're legitimizing the alien issue.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, but this all coincides too with, the development and the fucking pressure and the race for all these, billionaire jerk offs to get their fucking noses into space. And who's going to be the first to fucking colonize Mars?
Yeah. Fuck, bro.
But we're already, like, they're getting us ready for to think of ourselves as a intergalactic species, as opposed to just an earthbound civilization. So
no, I feel you. I like it. I feel you. I'm right there with you.
Are you?
Yeah, they're
is anybody?
I don't know. A lot of middle word, but I do know that I feel you on this. I think there's a big movement towards that. I love the legitimacy. I think we are moving towards the intergalactic community, and this is just the first office that does that, right? I mean, fuck. Who knows? But
it's like to me, they're almost at the level of like it's the fucking Department of Public Safety type.
That's IRS. It's like,
it's on that level.
It's like, it's fuck. Now they have, like, it's the EPA. Like they're not really in your everyday life, but they are. You know, they aren't. Like, you don't really think about it, but a lot of things, like, when you pump gas, that's why the fucking gas pumps have that little plastic seal that, like,
weights and measures. Yeah,
exactly. That's what's happening. Like, that's what they're creating. They're creating, like, the alien EPA. So, like, they're fucking slowly making rules of engagement, or like how you're supposed to see shit.
That way they have a source to funnel what's really happening through,
right, bro,
to bark to the public, because they know that it's inevitable that at some point what's really going on is going to leak to the public. Exactly. So let's be very vigilant in establishing a speaker box to funnel that and channel that through to where it gets to the public. So that's probably what's going on.
They should just really change it to MIB.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They should just change the name of it to
No,
the
I
Men
know.
in Black, and then that. Guess what? Stop fucking around. You're trying to make this have like 15-letter acronym. Just it's Men in Black.
Right.
Just
That's
say
too
we are the
many.
Men in
That's too
Black.
many. That's
Too
too
much.
many. Like
It's too
it doesn't,
much.
it's
It
not. So
shouldn't
it's
be
not
an acronym. You
no.
know,
An acronym should stop maximum at 5.
5, right? Exactly.
5
We
is
both
max.
nailed that.
4,
we didn't even rehearse that. We both said 5.
5 is max for an
That's it.
acronym.
It's it. Because guess what?
4,
After that,
4
cream.
is pushing it.
Cream.
3 is money.
Yeah.
3
Pretty
is
tits.
ideal.
3
HIV.
HIV.
3 is what you want.
HIV,
4
SS.
is accessible. I mean, it's not accessible. Acceptable, but a little excessive. 5 is that's
SSR,
border.
USSR,
That's a tight pair of pants. 6, they're done. Too much.
STI.
Too many.
Right. 6 is madness.
STD.
But you know what? Like, dude, seriously, the ultimate acronym of all is cream. Fucking 5 letters. Because you know why?
No,
Cash rules everything around.
And that's the only reason. And that's the only
Cream.
reason.
And that's why. That's
5
why
is the
Wu-Tang, they
max.
identified that shit. And guess what? That's where we're at. Because
That's
that
where we're
in the end, these fucking long ass acronyms, they're stupid. Just say Men in Black. We are the Men in Black. And have like a dance and a flag. And we'll all be supportive of it. Because guess what? Fuckers. There's aliens out there and they're gonna probe the shit out of us. And we really need to try to define the rules of engagement because someone needs to tell the aliens they just can't shove shit up your ass, right? I mean, we really have to be honest with ourselves. We don't want to be raped by aliens ever. So just do the Men in Black. That's it. Maybe get Tommy Lee. Maybe Will Smith in there. He's just see what's happening.
Yeah, you don't want
we got something going here.
You don't want the CIA to end up in the FBI to get involved, and you'll have to go to the ER because of some UFO. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
UFO, 3 fucking letters.
Right.
You know what?
The
fucked up ones though are like 2 letters though. You want it to be bigger than 2 letters, like SS or like US.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
One.
Those are bad. Like this kind of suck. You want it to be at least 3. Okay, so this is the acronym rules. It must be at least 3. Oh my God, fucking AI. Exactly. If it's not at least 3, if it's 2, it's pretty evil. If it's 3, like people say, well, what about US though? USA.
Right.
3.
That's the real version.
That's the real version, not US. That's just for the fucking numbnuts in Alabama. But like, you got fucking 3 letters. It's fucking money, bro. It's fucking money. 3 letters. Don't stay away from the 2-letter shit. 2-letter shit. Right. No. If it's 2 letters, it should just be another word, right? If you can't say 2 words, you're fucking stupid.
Really
fucking dumb.
Just say at that point, just say the word.
Yeah,
exactly. Or what? No, but once you get to 6,
exactly.
Just
that's a sentence. That's a fucking sentence, bro. If it's 6,
it is.
It's a short paragraph. Move on.
Move on.
Don't need a you don't need to shorten that up.
Don't need that shit.
No, fuck that bullshit. Fucking whack shit.
Oh, and you know what I was gonna say earlier too? I forgot. We were talking about, not to backtrack too much, but
I'm gonna backtrack your
ass. I'm looking. Thank you. I'm looking on the. I appreciate that. What are friends for? But when I'm looking here at the notes, the Omicron variant, right?
Right.
No, Omicron. They're telling us is like, what's the most mellow? Like whatever. You don't even feel it. You don't even know it exists. Like vaccines don't work on it, but it's bullshit. I don't know, man. To me, it just, at least the name Omicron sounds so far like the scariest one. Easy.
It's terrifying.
That sounds like a fucking robot that turns into a fucking humanoid, evil, destructive monster that takes over Tokyo. That's what fucking Omicron sounds like.
Bro, it's that evil guy from fucking Futurama. Have you seen that?
Is his name Omicron? Probably.
Yeah, one of them. No, he's like Omicron occur. He's one like the evil fucking people in the fucking show. He's like one of the like the people that try to fucking like take over Earth. Yeah, dude. Omicron. Like I said, we live in the fucking Matrix. But
no, we really do.
We do. We live in a ridiculous time, ladies and gentlemen. But that being said, I think we're gonna twist the titty on this nightcap.
Nice.
Any farewell Slimers you want to give anybody?
I didn't have anything prepared, but shout out to the listeners of the show. If you stuck with us this long, and there is like a resounding population that is like a core that is
we should come up with a name for them.
Stuck with us thick and thin.
Like the horror core.
I don't think they'd like that, man. I'd like to be a little more respectful to the only people that really prove that we matter whatsoever.
The butt sluts?
Probably not that either. Not really what I had in mind, to be honest with you.
The nut lickers, though.
Maybe you guys, that's not good either. maybe somebody suggests something.
Maybe they should take away the suggestion box from me, right? Because it's not looking good.
Hopefully we'd get an email from something other than a spam bot.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
That'd be tits.
You could hit us up at skipthenoisepodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter at skipthenoisepO1. You can also find us famously on Instagram at skip_the_noise_podcast. You can find us there. You can follow us. You can also find us on TikTok, Skip the Noise Podcast, or Facebook, Skip the Noise Podcast on that as well. You can also find me. I'm trying to sell a very nice, lightly used piece of luggage. I haven't posted it yet. I sold a set, and I forgot. Once I sold it, I forgot to take it off, and somebody hit me up, and I just remembered, like, oh shit, I have another piece. So I tried to. We had agreed on a price, and they were going to meet up, and then they flaked. So I'm a little pissed. So I'm gonna post it now, so it's official. Nice. But I was trying to give them the exclusive, like, hey, bro. I don't have what you're looking for left. However, I might offer you this. You
can lead a horse to water, right?
You can, man. You can't make them drink.
No, you can't.
You
can't. You can find me at any local ice creamery.
Can we?
I fucking eat
any
ice
of them?
Cream. Oh, bro. You can always look. Oh, dude, seriously, I fucking have a thing for ice cream. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Do you? You eat too much ice cream?
I love fucking candy. That's just always way. But thank God I run. Thank God I run. Because I would bro, the amount of fuck.
You'd be an obese. You'd be an obese fuck.
Oh yeah. Well, if you're bored and you want to just kind of interact with us, why don't you send us what your favorite sweet treat is? That'd be awesome. Fucking like underground bars, fucking Nestle bar, whatever the fuck you got, and I will talk shit about it. No, I'm just joking. Hit us up. Throw us your favorite treats. Send us pics, not dick pics, and just let us know you're out there. And if you have anything that you want to talk about, we can definitely do that kind of shit, and we could even expound upon it.
We could. We very much could. We could do that.
Found all over it.
Local story about ninjas trying to overtake an Air Force base, whatever the fuck that was that a few episodes ago. If you got anything like that, and you got some inside info on anything interesting, please let us know. Other than that, let's get the fuck out of here. Have a good week. Have a great weekend. Get those Christmas presents ready. Avoid the fucking bots. Try to get your shit
pushed in real tight, bro.
Yeah, get it shit pushed in, or don't get your shit pushed in.
Oh, dude, you're telling our members to get fucking pounded, bro.
I'm giving mixed signals, mixed messages. They don't know what to do. They're confused.
Dude. Yeah, exactly.
Just like all of us are.
Now you want to call them the horror. See, that's what the problem is.
Damn, you tried to slide that in, but that's. I'm not that gullible. All right, y'all have a good week. We'll see you next time.
Night.